WNBA standout forward Satou Sabally made clear that her time with the Dallas Wings is over. The former second overall pick out of Oregon spent 5 years with Dallas, becoming a two-time WNBA All-Star and 2023 All-WNBA first-teamer. "I've already communicated with Dallas how grateful I am because they've made this a home for me for the past years," Sabally said Thursday at an unrivaled A New 3x3 off-season league news conference. "I'm working with them together to find the next home for me because I've already played my last game in Dallas. I'm excited for free agency. I'm able to talk to a lot of players across the league because I have not played on a different team yet, and I'm excited to get to know them more on a personal level, but also how they approach the game." The announcement she's ready to move on didn't come as a shock, with the Wings installing a new front office and head coach this year, and Sabally's contract expiring. However, in order to avoid losing the 6'4" German national for nothing, the Wings cored Sabally on Monday. What does coring mean? Much like the NFL's franchise tag, this sees the Wings extending a qualifying one-year Supermax contract, $241,984, that allows the team exclusive negotiating rights for Sabally's free agency. Teams are only allowed to core one player at a time. A player could sign that contract and continue on with the team that cored them and enter free agency after that year is up, or negotiate a new deal, as Brittany Griner did in 2020. Given Sabally's perspective, it's unlikely the Wings will pursue changing her mind to play for new coach Chris Koklanis and sign a new deal, but rather work on finding a good trade partner. "Obviously, at first, they were still trying to keep me," Sabally said, "but I think what is most effective is working with the player and listening to their wishes and hearing out how we can find a best solution for each other." Sabally will be among the most coveted free agents this season and could fetch a nice haul for the Wings. Although she only played in 15 games last season, Sabally averaged 17.9 points, 6.5 rebounds, and a career-high 5 assists per game. You have to compliment Satou's career to this point. She, when healthy, is an elite player and is a difference maker, new general manager Curt Miller said during a press conference Friday. What could the Wings get in return? The return for Sabally is still a huge question mark. Sabally is undoubtedly a top player when healthy, but she's only played over 20 games in a season once during her career. There's also uncertainty looming over the collective bargaining agreement, which expires at the end of the 2025 season. Very few players are signed past 2025, as the new CBA will likely see salaries skyrocket given the new 11-year media rights deal signed in July that is valued around $2.2 billion. Around $200 million a year compared to the current deal that pays around $60 million. This could mean a few things. The Wings might be after draft picks more than players. This would give the team more years of control over talent they find in the college ranks and internationally. It could also mean some teams could be willing to part with high-end players they don't have confidence of resigning after the new CBA. So it could be a gamble going after a player like the Indiana Fever's Lexi Hall, who will be a restricted free agent in 2026, because she might not want to sign with Dallas after the season. At the end of the day, it will come down to how many teams want Sabally and how badly they want her. The more teams interested, the better a deal Dallas is going to be able to find. Sabally would need to get permission from the Wings to openly speak with other teams while being cored. Otherwise, she'll be reliant on Dallas to find her new spot. The possibility of at least a first-round pick and a strong rotational player in return for Sabally would make sense. Much like Sabally, we'll just have to wait and see what Miller does with one of his first major responsibilities. Last Thursday, superstar forward Satou Sabally announced she is moving on from the Dallas Wings. It isn't a shocking turn of events, as rumors concerning Sabally's desire to pursue a new team have been circulating since the end of the 2024 WNBA season. The 6'4" Oregon product is the latest of a long list of star players who have asked out of Dallas in recent years, following in Liz Cambage, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and Alicia Gray's footsteps. Though Sabally is set to be a free agent, she cannot simply walk away from the Wings. The WNBA's core designation, similar to the franchise tag in the NFL, prevents her from doing so. On Monday, Dallas officially extended a core qualifying offer to Sabally, giving them exclusive negotiating rights with her in free agency. Sabally can either accept a one-year Supermax contract from Dallas or work with the team to find a suitable trade to a mutually agreeable destination. If we take Sabally's words from her announcement at face value, the latter of those options is already in the works. The two parties are already facilitating a sign-and-trade deal. Both Sabally and the Wings have some leverage in this situation. Sabally can block any trade to an undesirable destination if she is willing to sit out the 2025 season without a signed contract. I doubt Sabally would want to take an entire year off, but the threat of doing so could be enough to limit Dallas's options. The Wings will try to extract as much value as possible in a trade. A player of Sabally's caliber will surely command a host of suitors, and there could be a bidding war for her services. Dallas will and should prioritize the best possible return, even if it isn't Sabally's preferred landing spot. Ultimately, I believe the two sides can avoid playing hardball and find a solution everyone is content with. Which teams are in the mix? Right now, no one knows where Sabally wants to go. There is widespread speculation about the reigning champion New York Liberty. Sabally's sister Nyara plays there, and it's an obvious winning environment. The Indiana Fever has a gaping hole at the power forward position, and playing with Caitlin Clark is an enticing proposition for any WNBA star. The Las Vegas Aces, Seattle Storm, and Phoenix Mercury are all in win-now mode and could be wild cards. If Sabally wants out of Dallas and is willing to go to any other winning team, all these teams could make sense. What would a return for Sabally look like? It's a tough question to answer. Emily Adler at The Next recently published a column analyzing the history of star trades in the WNBA, which have been historically rare. Her conclusion stood out to me. Remember when Angel Reese was forced to talk about something as invasive as AI-generated images being sent to her family members? It's not just heartbreaking, but it's infuriating to read about it. Fans were shaken to hear her talk about it on her podcast, Unapologetically Angel. This showed us the disturbing ways technology can be weaponized against public figures. Why should an athlete have to endure such violations of privacy? Well, Angel Reese wasn't just the only victim. Caitlin Clark has been in the news this past week for all the wrong reasons. She's become a target of a Texas stalker who has reportedly left her very fearful. That once again leads me to ask the question, does being a public figure mean sacrificing basic human dignity? It's time we ask ourselves where the line is and how we can hold people accountable for crossing it. As the stalker drama surrounding Caitlin Clark continues to unfold, support for the basketball star has poured in from all around the world, just as it should. Among those standing firmly by her side is none other than free agent Satou Sabally. While the rumor mill buzzes with speculation about Satou's potential move to the Indiana Fever, the German-American basketball superstar took to X to offer her support to Caitlin. Fans are watching closely, not just for her next career move, but also for the unity athletes are showing in the face of adversity. Satou Sabally shared a screenshot of the case report detailing Caitlin Clark's stalker being charged with a level 5 felony, captioning it, "Oh, I hope you never go through that. I'm terrified, honestly." She further reiterated the need for unity during such difficult times, stating, "Absolutely, it's heartbreaking to hear about women going through such traumatic experiences, but it's empowering to see people speaking out and supporting one another. Solidarity and awareness are crucial steps towards creating a safer and more just world for all." It's unfair to assume Satou Sabally is joining the Indiana Fever just because she showed support for Caitlin Clark during a difficult time. Athletes supporting one another shouldn't be reduced to trade rumors. That said, where might the German-American star actually be headed to? Let's dive into her potential options and explore what the future could hold for the talented free agent. While reports suggest that Sabally would only entertain supermax contracts, it is important to note that not many teams would be willing to sign her up due to her big injury issues. She plays an average of less than 20 games a season, 97 games in 5 seasons, which makes it a big risk for any team. There's no doubt her qualities as a player. The 26-year-old, when fully fit, is one of the best players in the world. In the 2023 season, Sabally played 38 games while averaging 18.6 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 4.4 assists per game, showcasing her abilities as one of the best two-way players in the league. The fans' favorite move would be for Caitlin Clark to join forces with Sabally and form a formidable duo that could wreak havoc in the WNBA. Realistically, the Fever could offer the Wings the 5th pick plus Nalissa Smith to make the deal happen, but it remains to be seen if the Dallas Wings would accept it, as they know better offers can be found elsewhere. Chicago Sky could be one of the teams who could offer their 3rd pick of the draft if they really wish to. This would make the Sky a formidable team with Reese and Cardoso already part of the team. New York currently can make the best offer if they wanted to, by sending the Wings draft capital and Leonie Fiebig. If the deal were to go through, Sabally would be back playing with her Oregon teammate Sabrina Ionescu. While Caitlin Clark bravely navigates through this unsettling scenario, the unwavering support from fellow athletes like Satou Sabally reminds us of the strength and unity. These moments highlight that athletes are more than just opponents on the court. They are people first, deserving of respect, privacy, and safety. As for Satou Sabally, her future in the league is just as intriguing as her role off the court. Whether she joins Caitlin in Indiana, bolsters Chicago's roster, or reunites with familiar faces like Sabrina in New York, one thing is certain: her impact will be felt both on and off the court.